we are ready. Hey, have you ever wondered how to draw a portrait? Well, you're in the right place. Today I'm going to show you how to draw some wispy hair and maybe even some reflective light. Come on, let's do this. My name's Kurt. I'm a dad who draws, and I'm going to show you how to draw a portrait as if you've never drawn one before. All right, you ready? Hey, John, what is up, my friend? You ready? Glad you're here. So we're gonna start from scratch. So if you're a beginner, you're in the right place. I'm gonna go over some very easy fundamentals that if you just kind of work through these things, then you should be good. This should set you off in the right direction, and then we could worry about the details later on. Okay? Let me go ahead and turn my my screen on here. Mariana's ready. All right, excellent. So we have this very active Facebook group. You can see the link down in the description below. Every day in the morning of on the day that we're going to draw the portrait, we have a vote. If you would like to participate in choosing which portrait you would like to draw, well, join our Facebook group and then look for that poll on Wednesday morning and cast your vote. So this is our winning vote. So let's get into this, right? All right. Let me erase this first. So let's just keep going back to the basics. It's always good to review this idea. When you're going to draw the face, I always recommend you start off with these 3 questions you have to ask yourself. 2D, 3D, and the face, direction of the face. Okay, so let's start with that. All right, so on your board there, go ahead and draw 3 ovals. Okay, 3 ovals or 3 circles, 3 spheres. Okay, and let's walk through these imaginary heads we're going to draw right now. So first thing is 2D axis. What do I mean by the 2D axis? 2D axis is if I had a stick coming out of the top of my head, the first question I want to ask myself is the head leaning to the right, or is it straight up, or is it leaning to the left? Do you see what I'm saying? So let's call this guy A. Let's do this B, and this over here will be C. And then A, let's say A, there's a slight angle going to the right, all right? B, we'll make that going a little bit to the left. And C, we will also make slightly going to the right, okay? That's the 2D axis. So let's look at A. So A, we are saying A is tilted a little bit to the right. All right, easy. Next question we would ask ourselves, along this axis, is the head coming forward or is it going back in space? You see that? That's the 3D axis. So let's say for us, we are going to say that this A is going to be coming towards us. And I make that by, I just kind of at this point make that distinction by a cone, all right? B, let's say B is heading backwards, so let's also show a cone, but we will show kind of the underside of the cone. And A and C, let's also make C kind of leaning back, all right? All right, so those are going to be our 3D axis. Along with that, I always look for, of course, I always look for the brow line. The brow line goes right through the brow. And I also look for the temples. The temples, you can take your fingers, you can feel them. They're to the outside there of the eyebrows, all right? So let's say this is a leaning forward here. So let's make our brow line like this, okay? B is leaning backwards, so let's turn our brow line going away from us. And C is also going back. So let's make our brow line also going back in space. Okay, great. So now we've got the 2D and we got the 3D, and let's decide where the face is. So let's just take A. So right now I have A coming forward. So I've got the tilt of my head, it's coming forward. And now right along this I've got to determine which direction, see, is my face pointed. So let's say the face is going to be pointing in this direction. B, let's say the face is going to be pointing in this direction. And C, we will make the face maybe point in this direction. So let's start with A. First thing we got to do is get our center line. So that's going to be our center line there. Let's get our center line coming along B here, right? And a center line on C there, right? All right. With all that being said, let's get our temple. So on a 3/4 view, remember, if you were looking, let me show you this. This is a view we're looking straight on the person, straight at the person, okay? Your temples are going to be exactly the same distance from the center line. You see that? But if you're dealing with a 3/4 view like this, now you have to take in what's the word? It is foreshortening. So so the temple is going to be a little bit closer to the center, where this one's going to be a little bit more further away. All right. So you have to remember that. You can't make those even. All right. So let's look at A. So let's say our temple is going to be there, and then the other temple is going to be a little bit more further away. Okay. B, same thing. There's one temple, and there's the other one. Okay, it's a little bit closer. And C again, there's the temple there, and this one's going to be a little bit closer away. Okay? I knew. I knew I'd remember it. All right. Let's go to our temple now. Here's the thing with the head. If I look at the head straight on, it's actually very flat. You see, if I look at the head straight on, it's very flat. Look, see my head, it's very flat on the side. But if I turn my head to the angle here, it gets very round. Okay? So let's create that side. So at this temple on A, we're just going to slice off. We're going to slice off that side of the sphere there. On B, we're going to do the same thing. Also on C. All right. Let's continue on here with A. All right, this center line is going to come across the forehead, go through the brow line, and then it's going to come straight down. Okay. And then on the far side, we're going to drop this just a little bit like this. Curve it around. There's our chin. And it's going to curve back up this other side. That's going to be our jawline. And then our back of skull is going to be somewhere about there. All right. Let's do this on B as well. Okay. This is going to be a little bit straight on the side there. because that's like a corner. We're going to drop down a little bit, curve this around, come off that sphere with a straight line for a center line, and then curve it around to the back side. Okay, see? Straight down the center for our center line. Drop it down a little bit for the corner of the jaw. Curve around for your jaw, and there's your chin. And there you go. That's the basis for finding the head direction, okay? Now, from here then, you could start to break these things down. So let's go ahead and just do a little bit. Let's start here with the A at this temple, and let's create the visor of the eye. It's like a V. So this is going to come in just a little bit and then go back out. If you hear noise outside, that's the people vacuuming up all the leaves. I don't know if they do that wherever you might live, but here in Pennsylvania, all we do is rake our leaves to the street, and then the city comes around and sucks them up with a giant vacuum cleaner. They'll be gone in just a second here. Alright, so this is the visor. This is the part of the skull and the head that comes back and then comes down to the jawline. So then the center line is going to follow that form. And then straight down the front. Let's do that here too. It's going to come in slightly there. Come back out. Center line's going to follow that. And we could do it to C as well. Center line's going to come in, follow that, and back down. And if I go too fast, by all means, just ask me to slow down, okay? Or speed up, whatever we need to do, right? Let's go ahead and tone that top part in. That's going to help to tell us the edge there. All right, let's jump onto this head now. I think we're about 20 minutes in, so let's do this, okay? I'm going to take this away and turn this on. Okay, are you ready? We're going to go through these same exact steps here as we draw this portrait, and let's see how we do, okay? First thing, I'm going to start off with a sphere. Oh, cancel, better get a new page here, right? Keeping it loose and light. I'm holding my pencil from the back. Now, let me show you something here going on. Here is her temple right there, okay? So there is this angle here. And then usually the brow line, when it turns the corner, it will line up with the top of the ear, okay? So I'm going to leave that on there for a second as we add some details here. All right. So first thing is we've got our sphere. Now let's establish the 2D axis. Now I believe that she's just sitting straight up and she's turning her head. She's not tilting her head to the right nor the left. She might be just slightly to the right. So I'm not going to go straight up. I'm going to go slightly this way, I think. All right, that's going to be about my 2D axis. '3D axis then is along that. Is she tilting her head back or putting it forward? And I say I don't think she's doing neither. I think she's almost like straight on, and she's just kind of turning her head here to the left. All right, so let's do this. Let's look at our sphere here and say, okay, and this is going to be about the side of her head. All right, and I'm just going to kind of estimate where her other temple is going to go. And then I'm just going to turn the corner here and try and get this angle. Okay, I've kind of curved those lines to give this nice sense of roundness. All right, so now this is crucial. Let's get the position of the face. Now this is going to be a 3/4 view. So let's push that center line a little bit to the right. All right, so let me mark it just so you can visually see where it's at. It's going to be about here. So be mindful. Look at that. There's the side of her face and there's the temple. You see how those are different? Let's get those down. Let's get that down pretty accurate here. So I'm going to go with about like that, I think. And the center line of her face is going to match the same angle of her head. Okay, I'm gonna slice off the side there like we did earlier, right? Okay, so there's about her hairline right there. So this is going to come down just like this. Side of her head is here. Just putting in some marks where I believe her chin is going to go. All right, let's establish where this chin is, okay? And let's try and be accurate about it. So let me show you how we're going to do that. let's use some clues here. So if I use a straight line, okay, so right away I could see that her nose is going to bisect the bottom of her ear. Okay, that's a good horizontal measuring mark. So I'm just gonna, okay, so that bottom of the nose is going to be about there. I could see that this angle of her face is coming down like that. So where would that be? Let's, oops, I'll redraw that. Let's do this. So there's that angle. And you can almost, I'm using a shape now. Okay, I'm kind of using a shape to get my proportion right. So let's see, there's that. Okay, I think that's going to do it right there for me. And I'm squinting, and just so you know what I'm doing right now is I'm doing a cartoon check. I'm looking at the face, looking at the picture, then looking at my drawing, and I keep jumping back and forth, and it should equal exactly the same. If it was different, it might like jump around, like if you were watching frames of a cartoon. Okay, now we can come down with the jaw. And I think, as I'm looking at this, I think my ear is just slightly too far to the left. So I'm just gonna kind of make an adjustment here so that I don't go too much further. Okay, I'm going to erase, get rid of all those lines there. I'm going to make my head just a little bit bigger here. When we get into the neck, we can make it smaller. This will make it easier for you to see what I'm doing on the page. Okay, let's continue on here. So now, because she is, I don't know what nationality she is, but she's definitely Oriental or Eastern. I don't know what the correct way to say that. So this visor is not going to be nearly, it's going to be very shallow. Okay, very shallow. All right, let's get this, let's start working on this nose here, okay? So if you look at if you think of the nose, let's build it from underneath. So you think of a nose like a triangle, okay? Let's just say like this. We were looking up at our nose, it was like this, all right? You would have the nostrils right in there, okay? But and if I was looking at this straight on, it might be something like this. You see this? But now she's at 3/4 view, so it's going to be wider there. You see the difference? So let's do that. Let's get that in position here. So we're going to start on one side here. Okay, there's a little bit of an angle. at the tip. And then this is this is really interesting. I really like where her gabella is because it is very deep. It's chiseled in, so it's like her nose is going straight up into her head with a very slight transition. Okay, so let's do that. Let's just come in here like a slight curve, and then I'm going to just do a little curve at the top there. And bring down the side like this. That was a little loud. All right, excellent. Let's keep going here. All right, then we're going to have the barrel of the mouth, and that's going to do it very lightly here because she's young. And most young people don't show these lines from the barrel of the mouth, okay? Okay, the little V for her lips. Now the corner of the mouth will be next. It's going to go right about there. And this other one's going to be a little bit closer. So you see, this is going to tell us that's in 3/4 view. I always get like the V and then the corners, and it's easier for me to draw the lips then. I don't like to draw the lips without those corners in place. And when I'm drawing these, let me show you what I'm seeing, what I'm kind of looking at here. I'm kind of looking at this negative shape. That's what I'm kind of visualizing in my head. Okay, and then this curves around. Okay, now let's get these. Let's get this bottom lip in. Now, a lot of times we'll have a very round. A lot of times the bottom of the lip will have two pads, and you can see on mine. It's like pad over here, pad over here. But I don't really see those, so it's really just going to be almost a straight. Straight line, but the bottom lip, look at this, how beautiful this is. The bottom lip falls just short of the top lip there. You see that? Now look at this also. See, I'm constantly making adjustments. So I'm constantly making, let me just double check before I do this. Yeah, I think I've come too low on my chin here. You see this? Yes, I have. So what we do, okay, let's just, for me, I'm gonna make the adjustment right now. Almost as if don't be afraid to do this. All right. I think that's a better proportion right there. All right, let's get these eyes in now. All right, I'm just going to put a line in for right now to kind of give me the right angle. And let's draw the little eye on the left first. So we're going to come, it's going to have a long arch and then a short arch. Okay. And then this is going to, and let's do the other side as well. So it's going to come in like this. And it kind of curves around like this. Bottom, slight angle, and it comes back up. And the same thing on this other side. So generally when I draw eyes, I think of it in these parts here. I generally think of the top part being 3, just like this, and then the bottom like this. Bottoms of 2 lines. Now with her own eye, in this particular case, I don't see three parts to the top of her eye. I only see 2. So it's all going to depend on the model that you're drawing from. Okay, I'm going to just put in this pupil. Now with these eyes, I've drawn them rather flat, but I want to think of them as round. So when I put the crease, of her eyelids in, I'm going to think of like I'm going around a form. The same thing to the other side here. Now her eyes are set back, so I definitely want to darken the whites of their eyes so they're not super bright. And you can also hit the underside of her nose. And hit the top upper lip slightly. Now I can see she has some nice eyelashes. They're dark. So I'm going to come in here and just darken this darken that top line there just a bit, and the same thing on the other side. She has a little bit of shadow underneath her eyelids here, so let's not overdo that, but just enough. And this other one is kind of a J hook if you look at it closely. Okay, now let's look at some value here right around her eye area here, and I'm just going to look closely. I'm going to go in with one value first, and you can see the shape I'm following. Darken in the corner areas of her mouth, and I'm going to add another tone toward the bottom of these lips here. Okay, let's get the shadow from the bottom of her lip. Okay, let's come in with a secondary value here and hit these eyebrow areas, and I'm just kind of looking for the shape here of them. Okay, this is interesting. This will happen on 3/4 views. Like the top right of her head is coming down like this, but then the cheek comes slightly from behind that. You see that? I'm just kind of now drawing the outline or the containment of her forehead here. Just kind of using straight lines. And even doing the same for the overall outline of her hair. Straight lines right now. I'm not... Just looking for the overall shape. Shape and angles. Okay, let's get this chin in, this neck in. It's gorgeous. And let's see the if I drew a line, this neck would extend right below her nose, so it's coming in like this. And then the back side, look at that. That's almost like almost straight. Well, that's too much there. And this is what I'm looking for. This is what's helping me right now, is I'm looking at this negative space, trying to match that negative shape, and I'm trying to match this. Those two negative shapes. Oop, wrong color. Typically, you have a tendon that comes from the ear that comes right down to the pit of the neck. And then this is an interesting thing going on with her shoulder. Ooh, ooh. You don't want to see that. Like right along her shoulder blade. This muscle is like pushing forward. Okay? No, I'm just kidding. So we want to really like overlap that so we get a sense that she's looking back over her shoulder at us, you see? I've made it too, that's too defined, but I want to show you, I want to point that out to you. So I'm gonna send mine back just a little bit. Look, I'm going to squint my eyes right now and add some tone to this. And as I'm looking at the picture, I'm going to really blur it. And I'm going to ask myself, what's light and what's dark? And I'm going to just use a soft, even tone to to put that in everywhere. So let's see how we do here. So this is all going to be, have a simple first pass tone. How's those? Should be a little around there. Okay. You ready to put some hair in? Because as soon as we drop this hair, it's gonna really sing to us. It's gonna sing to us. All right, let's start on the right side here, and these wisps of hair going across her face, let's leave those to the end. But for the time being, let's try and sculpt. When I say sculpt, I mean like as if we were going to draw this hair using clay. So like let's start with a part up here. All right, now look at this now. So this is the edge that's coming around. You see this? Just like this. So up here now, we have this surface. You see that? And then it turns the corner, and this changes in value. Just go nice and easy here. So we have one value on top, and then it changes value as soon as it turns that corner there, you see? Okay, let's jump to the other side now. And I'm going to try and break this down into big shapes. So I'm going to start up here, start at the top of her head, and it kind of has a round feel, like she's wearing a hat in a way. And then down here, there's a little bit of darker value, I see. And we could break this up with a couple lines here. Oops, this might be too strong of a line. Okay. Now this piece up front here, it's like a wave. Look at this piece up front is, if I draw the outside containment, it's like this. There's the shape of it, but it kind of overlaps there. You see that? So let's put that in. Somebody's laundry is done downstairs, right? Okay, I'm going to add some darker lines here where the shadows are. And then the shadows shift to be on this side. Like I said, we'll come back. We'll come back and add those last little wisps of hair here when we get there, okay? Okay, great. So now we're going to come this next section here. And this whole area is like in dark shadow. And even this ear, the top part of the ear is in shadow, where the bottom part is not. All right, let's put this, let's get this ear in place. So first thing I'm going to do is the letter C in the ear. So there's a, it comes around like this. Letter C. And I've got a letter Y. And then with that, I could just kind of come in once I get those two letters in place. And if you're not sure what I'm talking about, I'll tell you what, in Facebook group, just put a post up, tag me in it, and ask me, and I have a little sheet that I'd be happy to give to you of how to draw an ear. Oh, by the way, it's always helpful if you haven't subscribed to the YouTube channel, that's always a nice help, and a comment, negative or positive, it's okay. All right, here we go. Just going in now, making some subtle little adjustments here. Okay, I think I'm gonna bring in my hair now. So when I draw my hair, I'm gonna push down and then pull up and make it very wispy. Okay, push down and then pull up. So let's see what happens. And here we go. Push down and pull up. Wow, that was awful. That was awful. What was I thinking? All right, who cares? I'm going to leave it. All right, here we go. And then what has she got going here? We got one coming over here. Okay. I should not have pushed down so hard on that one. Okay. A little wispy back here as well, right? Coming around. All right, can I fix this somehow? You put a little couple extras so he could just kind of blend in there, right? hide him in the pack of other hairs there, right? Okay. All right, and look at this on the very bottom. It's not really in the picture, but I've added just a slight reflective light, and I think that always is really nice when you add that reflective light. All right. Thanks, Mariana. I see that. All right, let's get this ponytail here, and then we'll call it a day. So I'm just going to use, I did kind of a quick gesture where I want this thing to go. And then for me, I'm just going to almost silhouette it. And I'm just kind of going in now and adding just a couple more slight details. All right, I think we've noodled this enough. I'm just going to add some U-shapes to get some of this texture of her top that she's wearing. And that's going to be it. Okay, I hope that was helpful. Thank you so much for watching. Do post your... you know, it's funny. In front of me, I have multiple screens. So I have this big one in front of me, and then to my left, I have a smaller one. And boy, I'll tell you, when you start standing back from your work and looking at it from a small, it's just like, whoo. All right, that's it. Thank you for watching, everyone. Thank you, John and Maria, for tuning in, and everyone else. I will see you guys later. Have a great afternoon. Go make your day great, okay? All right, bye-bye.